Would you like to learn how you can use technology to get over a 40% return a month without laying a finger? If that will interest you, make sure you watch this episode today with my man Jaytun. Hey guys, welcome to our Modern Wealth podcast where we aim to empower, enrich and evolve your lives. Every week we invite experts from around the world to come and share with you their golden nuggets and insights on exactly how you can improve your lives financially. Today, we have a very good friend of mine, an absolute maestro in the world of trading. His name is Jay. You know, he's known across Singapore for his mighty long hair, mighty high hair. And today he's going to share with us some very, very high tips, techniques, and tricks. You know, before this video started, he was giving me a sneak preview, and I was like, "Holy crap, man, Jay, dude!" Like, bro, I got excited. You know, I was, you know, I had my hair standing up. I need to ask him and dive deeper into some of the things that he's working on currently right now. Right. So without further ado, guys, welcome Jay. Jay.
Hello.
You know, we've done an interview with you before, right, bro?
Yes.
Right? So we went through an entire journey story, a little bit about his background and stuff. But again, for the guys who haven't watched the video is up there, right? So click on the video, watch the video. Jay is an absolutely amazing guy. I love this guy. I've learned so much from him. But for those of them who don't know you, give them a quick, quick description of who you are, bro.
I am a simple guy.
Simple guy.
That has been trading for the last close to 1.5 decades. Specializes in US stocks through options, futures. So that's what I'm doing. Why I say simple guy is because trading is such a boring job, right? You don't get the kind of excitement like it's portrayed on TV or movies. It's basically just have a process, follow the process, and repeat that process every single day. So it's kind of a boring job. Don't you think so?
Yeah, bro. Absolutely, right? As in, I love that you say this, like literally just now with, our previous guest, Iris, she actually mentioned the same thing as well, right?
Yep.
It's about following the process. And again, if it's getting too exciting, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah, probably.
Right? It shouldn't be like all crazy. Oh, what you see in the movies and stuff, like freaking Wolf of Wall Street shit, right? Like, that's not really the process of trading, right? So it's meant to be robotic. You follow a system, fits your checklist, you do it. Have your TP, SLs, like everything is in place, let it play out, that's about it, right?
Yes.
So yes, quite boring actually.
Yes.
So what keeps you excited, bro?
Shiny toys.
Shiny toys? What shiny toys, brother? What are you wearing today?
Well, it's not about what I wear. It's about the cars you were showing me just now. Hey. Family car.
Family car.
Yeah,
okay.
family car.
Shiny family car?
No, you can make it matte black if you can wrap it. It's fine.
Sure. Okay, anyways, guys. So, one thing about Jay that is very, very interesting, right? Especially over the last couple of years. He's been drumming down this idea of automation to me, right? He's been telling me, so Jay is the kind of guy who likes to, make his life simple, right? He mentioned he's a simple guy. He likes to automate processes, make things simpler for him, for his life. And he does this with everything, right? Every other business he has, everything. It's all about automating the entire process. So, what got you so into trying to automate this investing process, man?
Initially, it wasn't like this. Initially, it was a very manual process. Then, Can
you explain the manual process? Like, what were you doing?
So the manual process it involves like literally a lot of screen time, where I started trading in the US market and being a foreigner to the US market. So what happened is I have no idea of what stocks there were. So literally there were like 8,000 over stocks that were tradable, 6,000 of which they are listed on mainstream exchanges. So how do we streamline and nail down to that handful few that is going to supercharge our portfolio? So that requires a process of filtering, which will take about a few hours a week. And as time goes by, right, when I have my family, I have a young daughter, she's 6 years old this year, I realized that it's not just about being buried in work, but it's more so how do we have, how to improve our quality of life, to sustain a meaningful relationship. Because once a child, the growing up years of a child is past, right? Then it's gone. And I want to be there to witness her growth, to witness her baby steps, her progress. So this is what leads me to spend, instead of a few hours on a chart, I thought of like how could I make this easier? Because as my business grow as well, most of the time we have to be in meetings, we have to have business development and things like that. Then I wouldn't have time to be splitting myself between, okay, I need to meet this guy versus I need to trade as well. So I need to sleep. I'm a human as well.
Yes.
I can't exactly stay out the whole night and then next morning feel refreshed and say, hey, let's go. Well, if I stayed up overnight at the age that I am now, the next morning I'll be like, oh, don't wake me up, I want to sleep.
For sure.
Yeah, so that got me on a relentless pursuit to how can I make things easier? How can I make things streamline it, to make it nicer, to make it more efficient, so that the decision making is not just emotional, because trading is a very emotional business where sometimes you make money, you feel very happy, you lose money, you feel devastated. And how do we remove elements of these emotions by replacing them with rules that have been tested? So it is a process that takes years, because first it was the back testing. And when you do the back testing, then you have to do forward testing and simulated data for forward testing. And thereafter, right, you have to bring from the simulated environment over to the real world environment. So especially testing in real world environment, it takes time. We can't accelerate the time and say, hey, let's put it on a 3 times accelerator. Today it's going to pass in 8 hours, right? So every 24 hours is still going to be as it is. And only time will know that whether the strategy that has performed so well in a simulated environment will translate to real world similar behavior and similar performance. And that's what I spend most of my time doing now. And most people think that once you have automated everything, right, you can just literally hands off, go to the beach, take a laptop, and you can trade anywhere in the world. That's not really the case, because every day I still have the habit of waking up and looking at, okay, so all these processes, all these so-called the robots are trading on my behalf, but are they performing within the parameter? Are they performing up to what is expected of them? And if not, right, then I have to do more digging, more troubleshooting. So it's like a never-ending quest to better this, to perfect this, which, it's just, so I go by this motto, just 1% a day. If there's one thing that is not working well now, fix that thing, and then we move on. We see what's the next thing that comes, we fix that, we move on as well. So it will be a series where all these improvements will be accumulated, and I would say that the process will be more completed probably sometime down the road, which I don't know. I can only link the dots backwards.
Very nice, very nice. So, Jay, I love that you shared all these things, right? And dude, really strike the chord with me with regards to what you shared about your daughter, right? Because, I think we're very, very similar profile as well.
Yes.
Now I have a young boy, 3 years old, right? And, one of the things that's very, very important is to be there, to be able to spend time, right? Because the growing up years are very, very precious, right? So again, the process of automation, if you can make your life simpler by taking time away from needless things, would really, really help, right?
Yes.
I think that's something that a lot of people would like and want, right? You mentioned you are perfecting it, right? It's work in progress and stuff, and can you show us how it's like and stuff?
Definitely. Okay, so for example, on this, I'm deploying one of my trading robots on crypto as well. So I've tested this. In fact, this idea wasn't new. This idea came from more than a decade ago when I was doing it on Forex. So literally the currencies, and I was testing all the strategies on the currencies. And back then they were using MetaTrader 4, right? So using MetaTrader 4, we will be able to program EAs, then the EAs will be able to take the trades on behalf of us. So this is not new. And fast forward to today, where cryptocurrency is involved, right? It is brilliant how all this centralized finance or the exchanges like Binance, Bybit, Crypto.com, they have all these functions that previously was not within the access of a normal retail trader, because you have to have programming knowledge, you have to find somebody to code it up, a lot of bugging, a lot of debugging, and things like that. Whereas today, right, on Binance, right, just a few buttons, I set the parameters that I want, key all the parameters accordingly, and then just launch it, and then I just work the magic. So this is where I've been, this bot that I'm going to show you now, it has passed my backtest phase. So I've tweaked with the parameter for quite a fair bit to know that under what kind of market conditions it will thrive in. And currently I'm doing real world small account testing. So yeah, just take a look over here.
Wow.
Yes, over here. So as you can see, right, my first position here is only $200.
Yep.
So this is a very kiasi position. I was like, okay, let me just try it. If it fails, it fails. And anyway, it's on isolated margin.
Sure.
So $200, if I lose it, it's just as if I'm losing a trade. Fine. Then the next position that I put on is 300, and then followed by 500 because it's all on the same coin as you can see over here. And then finally, the most recent one, this position here is just less than a week. So whenever people ask me, right, what is your typical return in a year or rather in a month? Sometimes I feel quite shy or paiseh to say it because whenever I say it, people think like it's a scam. So for example, these three positions were on for the past 1 month. So when these three positions, the capital involved is 200, 300, 500, that's 1,000. The return cumulatively across these three positions is about 500. So if you think about it, it's about 40% for the past month.
Crazy, man.
And then this latest one that I put on, you can see is up like 17%. And this position is up less than 6 days, I think. Yeah. So if you tell people 1 week, you get 15%, 1 month you get about 40%.
This is on capital size.
On the whole account.
On the whole account.
It's not on per trade.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So this is where, when people ask me, what's your return? How do I tell you? The first thing that will come to your mind is this guy is a scammer. The thing is, it's real, it's here.
absolutely, man. It's crazy.
Yes.
So this is on Atom, right?
Yes.
So it's very range bound. It's not really moving, right? It's kind of like
Yes.
it's very very range bound. You're able. So what's the if you don't mind sharing, right? What's the kind of parameters you set for Atom specifically?
Okay, so what the strategy that I'm deploying here, right, is not the typical buy long or sell short kind of strategies whereby you take advantage of directional movement.
Okay.
But instead, what we do here is we have what we call grid trading.
Okay.
So the long story short, right, it is to divide a range into a certain grids and determine at each of the grid, right, what position do you want, how big a position you want to take, what is the direction bias that you are taking. So whether is it like a neutral grid, is it like a long bias grid or a short bias grid? And of course, some elements of TA will have to be involved. It can't just be oh, I just put on a neutral grid and expect to perform in a like raging bull market. It is simply not going to work out. So in this case, you strike a point where Atom is range bound. So similarly to Atom, you have Bitcoin right now, and as well as BNB. They are all seemingly range bound after that huge pump at the starting of the year. So these are working to my advantage right now. So and basically the bots are just taking trades up and down, up and down, up and down. And when I look at the number of trades, right, I was actually quite shocked because if I were to go into the details of or the history, right, of the trades, you can see over here total match trades is 2,200.
Let me see.
2,200 trades.
Wow.
And that's for the past 1 month.
Wow.
So can you imagine if as a human, you have to go in and execute these trades, you basically won't have a life. It's not just about having a job.
You can't do that, man.
Exactly. It's not about having a job, it's about having a life. So this is what the role of technology can do for us, to help us make better use of our time so that, once we have drum up the parameter, let it run. But of course, it doesn't mean we totally hands off. From every day, I'll still have the habit of logging in to see are they performing to my expectation, to within my parameter as well. So if they do, I'll just let them do their job. And if not, then I will probably kill it and then I will just restart a new one, readjust the parameter. Yeah, so that's basically what's my job now.
Incredible, man, incredible. Dude, there's so many things that, you don't know, I don't know, bro. I don't know, right? Okay, just for the benefit of the people who are brand new to this channel and everything. So can you explain to us what grid trading is?
So, okay, let me use this bottle as an illustration. Let's say the prices will move up, prices will move down for a coin. And let's just say that the coin, if you can vision your candlestick charts, right, just go up, go down, go up, go down within this range. So what grid trading does, right, is that it charts out the upper bound. You obviously have to first determine the upper bound through your charts, upper bound and the lower bound. And then within this range, you just divide it into boxes, also called grids, G-R-I-D. Then let's just say for simple sake, we divide this into 10 boxes. So every different slice, there will be a certain order. And anything that is from this range onwards, right? Anything that is below, there is a buy. Everything that's above, there's a sell. So what it does, right, as prices fluctuate here, up, down, up, down, up, down, it comes down at the buy, it goes up, it sell, come down at buy, go up, it sell. So what it does is it does this range-bound trading. There's trading within the range and it's all automated. So this is what the essence of what grid trading is. And the key is to determine the range, the parameter, the number of grids, and each position size you want to take within this range itself. Yeah.
Interesting. Bro, for some reason, I keep remembering you as a guy who loves range-bound trading, right? From your previous video we did together, you're sharing about the Singapore stocks Genting.
Yes.
Bro, you see my memory, brother, right? You're sharing about how ding dong, right? Like, that was very profitable until it wasn't.
Yes, until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't, right? So how would this be different?
So so that's why you see, when I have the robot that is operating within this parameter that I've set, I just let it be. As soon as it seemingly wants to get out of this parameter that I set, that's where, as the trader, I will step in, and that's where I will kill the robot and say, okay, stop trading it, that's it, because it looks like it's going to make a move, whether is it to the upside or whether is it to the downside. So that's where I find harmony between the trader as a human, and then that you harmonize it together with technology, as long as it's within the range that the parameter that you set it for, and then just let it run. And as soon as it wants to get out of this parameter, then that's where we take over. So it's pretty much the same as how we upbring our kids, right? We give them a parameter, we give them some room to explore, to make mistakes, to learn. But as soon as we know that this mistake is going to have an irreversible impact, that's where we step in and say, hey, no. That's the bottom line, that's the line that you can't cross.
Interesting.
So pretty much the same as how we manage our trades.
A perfect combination of human combining together technology to really make it work. But that's how it actually works, bro, right? The robots and everything, like you need to come in and you need to as a trader, you need to manage the parameters that you set. And when it's out of the parameters, then you have to come in to kill, to revamp the parameters.
Correct.
And do that, right? So that's basically how it works, essentially, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
Most things in life, I believe, is like that.
So in crypto, it's the same, and you can apply that. And the returns have been crazy, bro. 1 month, freaking 40-50%. Holy crap.
We can't tell people about this. Most people will think you are scammed.
Yeah, bro. It's insane. But, incredible, man, incredible. And again, more people need to learn about this and, really move forward with it as well. So, bro, currently right now, we talk about automation, we talk about, so how do institutions go about doing it actually? Like, do you know, when you're talking about HFT, talking about, how institutions do it, for example, is there a lot of work done, or is it generally via computers? Like, how is it being done in your opinion?
Well, from my opinion, which I'm not inside, if I know exactly how they are doing it, I would be inside.
Yeah, sure.
So I think a lot of things today, ever since the 2000 onwards, right? It is largely run by computers, and I've read this book by Michael Lewis, and it's about high frequency trading. And to the extent that, last time, right, on those exchanges, you have floor traders shouting their orders and then trying to fill, I take the bid and things like that. So all this are done by human, which if you compare it to the speed of light, we are literally like not moving at all. So it is very slow when it's done from a human to human basis. So how they do it right now, from my understanding, and I'm quite amazed after reading that book, right? I was like, wow, the exchange, right, actually puts up the server space for sale. Then whoever that wants a faster access, meaning as close to my server as possible, that will be like prime real estate. So you're gonna spend millions of dollars to just buy that space, to put your server beside mine, just so that you can get in at a few microseconds faster than the next guy. So therefore, right, when that absolutely blew my mind, and I was like, wow, that's the kind of speed that they are talking about. It's not even milliseconds. They are talking about microseconds, picoseconds. And they have the direct line to the exchange server. And what they are doing is literally, I wouldn't say front running, but more of, well, if you can understand the business model of how, Robinhood, how they pioneered the so-called free commissions, they allow you to trade with them without any commissions, right? I mean, after all, they have to make some money. So where is the revenue source? What they do is they route this order to Citadel, which is a high frequency trading firm. So they literally sell the whole order flow to Citadel, and Citadel is playing the arbitrage lah. So if I can get slightly 1 cent better than the price outside, I'll take it first, I make that 1 cent, then I'll throw it out. And all this happening at the speed of light, just like that. And it can only be done through automation. It can't be done through human. Yeah, and that's the level that they are playing at. Obviously, I wish that I had more details. If I had it, I would be joining them. Yeah, I would be wanting to do similar things.
But you know, what you're sharing is kind of scary, right? So we talk about AI, the rise of ChatGPT and all these things. What's the future, bro? Is there a space for manual, discretionary trading, right? People, retail investors doing it and actually being successful? Or should it all be left to...
I think, yes, there will definitely still be space for humans. If not, it will be like Terminator scene, right?
Sure.
So I saw this ad on Facebook, right, which it struck a chord with me. So there was this construction company, and then they put up this huge banner across the building that they were building, right? And the tagline was, AI can't do this. AI can't build this. So there still has to be some human involved. So I think we are right at the forefront of how AI and how it can help us. Only the future holds, what this development will take us to. But I think as traders, right, we have to keep up with the latest development, or at least be in sync. Like for example, cryptocurrency wasn't a thing until the last 5 years.
Yep.
And shifting the money from a centralized finance centralized exchange, you want to shift it over to decentralized, to your own wallet. It presents so much friction. And initially, when I first learned about it, I was like, why so many steps? Every step I have to approve. When I approve it, there's a gas fee, there's this, there's that. So with every new technology, it comes as I think for us, we can either take it as a barrier, or we can take it as a challenge or personal, like, hey, this is something interesting, and then we master it, we learn it. So instead of fearing that we will be replaced by technology, I think a more proactive way would be, how can we make use of this technology to help us accelerate, to help us get faster towards what we want to achieve? Because previously it wasn't possible. Everything has to be done by us. Now we can so-called delegate some of these roles out to technology, and as long as they are performing within the parameter, why not? It's a win-win. So the role of humans will be there. I mean, after all, the traders will have to set the parameter, will have to set the tone, will have to pick the right coins. Like for example, you saw that I'm applying it on Atom. Why not on other altcoins? Why not on Bitcoin? Why not on Ethereum? Why on Atom? There is a reason, because it suits a certain parameter, it suits a certain behavior that I'm looking for. And these are the things where I think human can bring immediately to the table. And yeah, instead of we are enslaved by it, why not we master it and make them work with us? I think that's where the harmony comes in.
Dude, we need to have a masterclass of you teaching us how to, marry technology with trading, man. Dude, if y'all would like to have that, make sure y'all smash the like button. If I see at least 200 likes on this video, then I will make sure that, we do a special training on how you marry these two things together. Because, I want to learn too, bro.
Okay.
Right? There's so many things that, I need to uncover in Jay's very big brain, right? Like, seriously. I don't know if this under here, I'm not too sure. But
He's a weak.
He's a weak. Not the real thing, bro. We need some brain.
Yeah, I can take it out.
There, so, bro. Guys, if you enjoyed the video so far, make sure you like the video. Make sure you click on the subscribe button. Again, Jay has shared so much nuggets of wisdom. After the break, we're going to be sharing about exactly what he looks forward to the end of the year, exactly, the challenges that he actually is facing currently right now with some of the strategies, and really how you can really propel and grow your portfolio moving forward into the next half of the year as well. With regards to how you structure your own portfolio, right? With regards to the opportunity you're seeing right now, right? So you're invested in different places. Of course, you have your stocks as your base. You also invest in cryptos.
Yes.
You also invest in watches. All these different things, right? So how do you structure your portfolio currently right now, man? If you don't mind sharing, obviously you have properties. So many different things. Yeah.
My number one rule for investment, right, is that the rule that I gave myself is I can only shift my money from one asset to another asset. I will never liquidate my asset into an expense. Meaning I wouldn't, unless I absolutely have to, I got no choice.
Can you explain, bro?
So like for example, some people will sell things that are valuable just so that they can afford maybe to pay into a car, into going on a holiday, to buy certain things that are seemingly more expensive. That is one line that I will never cross. For me is if I will have to, for example, I'm an investor in watch, right? I hold a portfolio, a collection of watches. So if I were to sell my watch, would there be a scenario, although I would hate it, I wouldn't want to sell it every day, I can, wear it on my wrist, I shake, I can hear the sound, it just, mechanically, it feels nice to me. So would I want to sell it? Well, if I have no choice, either, for example, if I want to reach out for a higher goal, I want to go for a bigger house, for example, and that's where I will consider, okay, what are my other assets that I have? I maybe can liquidate some of these assets and I will transfer it into another asset. It will never be, I sell my watch so that I can get a car, because as you know, cars in Singapore are typically depreciating. They are not exactly an asset, so I term that as an expense. But of course, some people do know of cars that doesn't depreciate and they do hold their value quite well. So I'm also looking into these because for me, I just find that in our short span of few decades, right, where we are economically productive, there are just a few expenses, a few big ticket expenses that is going to suck us dry in that sense, and car is one of them. So this is something that I thought, okay, if I don't lose money on cars, on driving cars, right, then I would save a lot of money there, which can be translated into maybe a bigger purchase like a house. And cars in Singapore, you're looking at 200, 300,000, right? Even a entry level, let's say a Continental car right now, is north of 200,000. So if I don't spend that money, and 200,000, it is a huge portion of a down payment towards a property. So this is basically when it comes to finances, how my brain functions, like how I look at money, how I look at value. So in terms of how I structure my portfolio, right, most of my base was made through stocks. And the number one stock was, of course, Disney. Disney gave me that first pot of gold. And truth be told, right, the exponential growth that I had, right, or the breakthrough that I had was in fact during 2020, late 2020 and 2021. And it wasn't in stocks. It wasn't through options. Guess which market it was?
Crypto?
Yes. So that was that life-changing moment where when because I did a lot of DeFi. So when I finally, look at the portfolio, I was like, is this real? Is this like real? I said, okay, I think it's real. So that's where it went from crypto, and then I divested it into other asset classes. So yeah, that's pretty much how I go about doing it. So I also hold the belief that if your base fund is not big, I never believe it in diversification. In a sense, don't get me wrong, I think diversification is good only when your base is big enough. So for example, if you have 10,000, you're going to cut it into 10 slices. Each slice is going to be 1,000. Even if you've got a 10x opportunity on one of the slices, which is fantastic. 10x opportunity is what makes or break, someone's life, right? So your 1,000 for that slice, multiplies it by 10, you get back 10,000. That's not bad. But is it life-changing? That's not. However, if let's say the same 10,000, you go deep into the research, you literally dig out everything that you can, start small, and then when you pump it up, let's say to an overall 10,000, and you're exposed to that one 10x opportunity, your 10,000 is going to become 100,000. And that's where, right, it leapfrog that. Like the first pull-up theory, the first one is always the hardest. So literally what it does is, it not just give you the first one, but it leapfrogs you to, hey, I can do 10 right now. So that is my belief. So I believe in...
It's true, bro. As in, I always share this one theory. You correct me if I'm wrong, right? But this one quote, which basically says, concentration makes you rich, diversification keeps you rich.
Yes.
Right? But again, keep you rich, you don't have money, they keep you semi-rich, right? Keep you poor. Right? It's the truth, right?
Yes.
So that's very, very important, right? So again, I think the fear very simply is, what if I concentrate and I'm wrong? What if I concentrate, I do my homework, bro, I do everything already, but then, this fella tell me can buy, I also research everything, but then, it goes south, for example, right?
So this is, I think, just part and parcel of life. It's just like, if I can draw an example from venture capitalists, obviously every deal that they make, they hope that this company that they have invested in can become a unicorn, which means to get a 1 billion valuation or get listed, and they got in early. So I think in all the projects or investment that as an individual we make, it's also along the same lines where we must have a mental safety net where if I'm wrong, this wrong cannot kill me. This wrong cannot affect my livelihood. This wrong cannot affect my family. I think that's the most important. It cannot be like a devastating, critical mistake where game over, it's game over for you. And I find that life is precious. We don't have to, all out pursuit for money, and then when it goes haywire and we have to, just end our life. And I think that's very sad. And I see a few cases around, which I think that's the kind of fear that, keeps telling me to stay on the right track. Don't forget your values. Don't forget what you were set out to do, and never be greedy to the extent that you forget about all this and you just want to make it, like, I want it now. Because, of course, obviously, right, when you look at people around you, they have shinier objects, they have bigger houses, better cars, faster cars, and better quality of life. You'll be thinking, what am I doing? What are they doing? How come they are so much better? And as human, we tend to compare. So there's a lot of, for me, it's a lot of self-reflection. Like, each of us have different paths. We just need to trust our path and to know that the things we do, we must evaluate that it makes sense, that it can reach us, it can get us to the destination. So it's a matter of time that eventually we must, keep going on, and eventually we will get to the destination. So in this sense, this is called faith. So what's the difference between faith and blind faith? Faith is where you're on track and then you do periodic review or whether is this getting towards your goal. Blind faith is like, I close two eyes, I think can, and then let's go in. So I think that's the difference, that's the main difference.
Well, that's beautiful, man. I love the whole analogy, because it's true, man. You gotta have faith, but you have two eyes open and see, right?
Yep.
Very, very important to make that right, educated decisions, right, on how to proceed forward. So, G, I want to ask you a question, right? So, what is maybe couple of few last questions, right?
Yep.
So maybe one question which I want to have for people. So you talk about automation and everything.
Yes.
So let's say, for example, somebody is really like, trading is not for me. I don't really feel like I like to look at charts. But of course, I want to make money, right? For sure.
Yep.
Right. So if that person comes to you and tells you, hey, dude, I want to do this, but I really don't want to trade. I want to be able to grow my money. What would you advise him to do, bro?
Okay, I think before we even say I don't want to trade, I agree that there will be, some people will be professionally challenged to have that time to come up with the time to trade. And because trading itself is an activity where you require some oversight, there's some work involved. It is not like passive where you just buy it, you hold it, and you just forget about it, right? So for people who are usually professionals, lawyers, doctors, very busy personnel, then I think what they can do is, instead of getting short-term returns, they can be aiming at more longer-term returns over a slightly longer period of time. So that's where I think investment comes in. And where investment is involved, right? A lot of people are just looking at fundamentals. They say, hey, this has a good fundamental, that is a good this and that has a good fundamental. But for me, right, instead of just on fundamentals itself, I also believe in this thing called a narrative. Things only will move and get better when there is a narrative, when there's a story that surrounds it, and it seems like it is fulfilling that narrative. So why NVIDIA gone up so much just the past half a year is because it is playing into the AI narrative. So the key as an investor will be then to get in on this narrative early as we can, and then see this narrative expand. And to also make sure that the vehicle that we're invested in are still keeping up with all this growth within the narrative. And as long as it does, I think it is worth doing, it's worth pursuing. So yeah, for somebody that has no time to do the trading itself, I think they can look towards this kind of angle, like what is the next narrative? What is everyone talking about? For stocks, it will definitely be AI. And right now, cryptocurrencies, you can see the traditional finance money is all flowing in. So this is definitely going to stay. How it will behave, how it will become, only time will tell. But at least as far as I'm seeing it, with traditional finance money now into this side of the investment, I think this asset class will become a lot more stable in time to come, which makes it still very early as opposed to, you look at stocks, they have been there for hundreds of years. But cryptocurrency largely is just in the last 10, 15 years. Yeah.
That's so true, man. So again, besides being more stable and everything, obviously we just had the news that Ethereum's ETF got approved.
Yes.
Right. Earlier this year it was Bitcoin. Now Ethereum's ETF got approved. Hasn't started trading yet and everything. What do you think is going to happen, man? As a result, right? What's your view? Is that going to lead to explosion, or as in?
I believe that. Okay, I'm a believer of buy the rumor, sell the news. So prices move because of expectation of a certain event that is going to happen. So now everyone knows that Ethereum ETF is just a matter of time, right? Just like Bitcoin ETF before. So what the movement that is happening right now, I think it is already pushing Ethereum prices up from before it was announced, I believe that day was like 3,000, 3,001. Then it shot up to 3,007 immediately the next day.
Yes.
And I woke up, I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
So I think the move is already there. And of course, if we zoom out on the next 12-month horizon, I am still bullish on it, but doesn't mean that I'm going to buy at sky-high prices right now, where hoping for it to go even higher. I believe that asset class that has a bullish narrative, it is crucial and important to identify a price that makes sense for us to buy in. Just like property, all of us know that in the landscape of Singapore, property is likely going to have a bullish narrative over the next few decades. But if you buy at a cycle high, right, you need time, you need like few decades, just to 1.5 decades to break even and then finally see some gains, which is the time that we don't have. Because how many 10 years do I have?
Absolutely.
I only have like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Not so little, bro, right? Bye.
Until the bank refuses to lend me money.
Sure.
Yeah, 2 or 3 more.
Okay. Just to make things very, very clear. Huh?
Yes.
Right. But yeah, it's true, bro. It's true. It's very, very important to understand, like cycles, where we at currently right now. Thanks for sharing those insights, and so true. Again, with regards to the Ethereum, going up like crazy after the ETF, dude, we saw alignment. Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Like that was literally when I issued an alert to a group of my elites, to tell them, hey man, I'm selling, right? So it popped up to about 3.9 or whatever, and I basically sold a whole bunch, right? So I took profits, and it's quite interesting because it came right down right after, right? So it played out exactly as that way, right? Like boom, flew up, then I took my profits. So it was fantastic because I loaded up a lot. I've been loading up for years, but I loaded up a lot, especially when it dropped back down to about $3,000, right? So that was an action that was very profitable for me in the month of May, very profitable. Okay. Right, so that was great, but everything else just popped like crazy, right? So, waiting for it to break out of the range, right?
Yes.
For Bitcoin to go above the 70,000 as of right now, as of this video filming. And then let's see where we go, man. Let's see where we go. But sorry?
To the moon.
To the moon, man. To the moon. Let's go. But I'm very, very excited, man. I see a huge future ahead. And like I said, like you said as well, with all the institutions coming in, right? It's going to be it is a mainstream asset class right now.
Yes.
It will likely be a more and more stable asset class as well. Right, so lots of opportunities, man. Lots of opportunities. What's your view with regards to altcoins, bro? Like, do you like altcoins? You like trading them, right? Crazy, yeah?
I love altcoins. Altcoins was what boosted my portfolio in the 2020 cycle. So this time round, right, I think an interesting observation is that a lot of all this money didn't go beyond the layer one tokens. So this theme for this cycle, right, is quite strongly these two, the big coins. So Bitcoin, the L1 tokens like Ethereum, BNB, then NEAR and all this, right? And the next group, right, will be meme coins. Pepe and all this, they're just flying like all over the place. And I don't see that penetration that it had in the last cycle, where you literally see from L1, then it goes into L2. So it was like a whole flow into this ecosystem, where this time it's just kept at L1 and into some of the pockets of the meme coins. So this is what I am seeing right now, which also means that as more liquidity pumps into this market, they will have to go somewhere. As the L1s, as the mainstream coins are already so-called at a very high price, the expected return on them will be adjusted lower, meaning you can't have a 10x opportunity on Bitcoin, at least not in the next few years. Right now it's 70,000. It can't go up to 700,000 or a million in a short period of time, unless the central bank decides to flood the market with liquidity again. Because at the end of the day, it's all about money in the system.
Yes.
So sooner or later, when all these L1s become more, I would say, higher in value, then the next wave would be definitely in the altcoins, which is yet to happen. Has not happened for this cycle yet. At least I have not seen it. The funds flow is not into those. So I think this is an area where I'm keeping track on it. Yeah, because it's always about what's the next big thing, right? Yeah.
Amazing. Dudes, I've learned so much, Jay. Thank you so much for sharing, bro. I think I have one final question for you for the interview, and the question is this: for the rest of the year, right? So we're entering into the second half of 2024.
Yes.
Right. Exciting times ahead. What should investors be? It's election year, right? There's elections coming up. There's your interest rate decisions, a lot of things happening, right? But what are some of the things that investors should be really watching out for, keeping their eyes tuned into for the second half of the year?
I think the most notable would be presidential election. Personally, I'm seeing, and I want to see, now that Donald Trump has been convicted, will he ever land up behind bars? And according to the Constitution, right, they can swear in as the president from behind bars.
Huh?
Yes. I have not seen this, and I hope he wins.
Okay.
And I want to see that happening.
Okay.
I thought that would be interesting.
Okay.
But on a lighter note, right, Republicans are known to be more pro-business.
Sure.
So that is the reason why even though as erratic as he is, I think Donald Trump is still more favorable for the market, as witnessed by the market performance in 2017, 18, and 19. More volatility to be expected, yes, but you can see the prices of these asset classes literally just go through the roof. So he is more friendly in that nature. So we have to watch out for, I think from Q3 onwards, who is performing where and who is leading. I think that's number one. And number two, right, it's about how the Federal Reserve play this balancing, juggling act of trying to lower down the core PCE prices at one end, the inflation at one end, and trying to keep the rate as high as they can, as long as they can, to the extent that they don't break the economy. So I think they are in a tough position to juggle this too as well. If they drop the interest rate, the inflation will shoot up. Then people will complain, right? They will make noise. If they keep the interest rate high, businesses will suffer, and eventually will translate to a general economic slowdown. So that is interesting. So I'm watching these two as the main two market disruptor for the next half of the year.
Interesting. Dude, thank you so much for sharing. Guys, make sure you take note of what Jay has been talking about as well. And again, make sure you like this video if you all want a masterclass on technology aiding your trading journey, right? Like, I think that would be incredible. I want to learn as well. If you all would love that, make sure you all click on the like button. Jay, thank you so much for sharing. As always, if you guys want to follow Jay, all the links at the bottom. Make sure you guys follow Jay on his journey. Absolutely amazing guy. I've learned so much from him. I keep learning from him every day as well, right? So again, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below with regards to what else would you like to hear from Jay with regards to how you can really explore and grow your own profits. Till next time, guys, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.